Have you ever had one of those nights where you finally get comfortable in bed, only to wake up again and again, just to go to the bathroom? Maybe it starts around 1 a.m. Then again at 3:30. And just when you're about to drift off for a bit more rest, boom, your bladder wakes you up again. And the worst part? You sit on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, wondering, why can't I just sleep like I used to? Let me ask you something real honest. Have you ever planned your evening around how close the bathroom is? Or avoided drinking water altogether in the evening, hoping it would help? You're not alone. This is something millions of seniors deal with every single night. And for many, it's become just another part of aging. But here's the truth no one told you. It doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you that the way, and more importantly, the timing, of how you drink water during the day might be the very reason you can't stay asleep at night? Sounds too simple, right? But stick with me, because inside this video, you're going to learn the exact hydration mistakes that most seniors make without realizing it, and how one tiny, almost laughably simple change can help you wake up refreshed, with less trips to the bathroom, and way more control over your sleep. And we're not talking about pills. No medications. Just smarter habits based on how your body actually works as it ages. Because here's the thing. Waking up constantly to pee isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. Every time you get out of bed half asleep, you're risking a fall. A broken hip. A long recovery. Or worse. It's not just about sleep. It's about your independence. Your peace of mind. Your freedom. And you deserve that. So, grab a glass of water if you'd like, but please, don't drink it too late. Because what I'm about to share could change your nightly routine forever. By the end of this video, you'll know why your bladder might be tricking you, what not to drink after a certain time, and the single hydration tip urologists wish every senior knew years ago. Now, before we dive in, do me a small favor. If you're tired of feeling exhausted during the day because of all those nightly bathroom trips, comment below with "No more sleepless nights," so I know you're here with me. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This channel is all about real, honest conversations that help you live wiser, longer, and stronger. Alright. Let's talk about how you're drinking water, and how it might be silently stealing your sleep. Let's fix it, together. Let's start with something that sounds harmless, but quietly robs so many seniors of restful sleep every single night. It's not what you're drinking. It's when you're drinking it. Let me introduce you to Mr. Thompson. He's 76, retired, sharp as a tack, and takes pride in staying healthy. His doctor told him, drink more water throughout the day. So he did. But here's the catch. Mr. Thompson wasn't drinking much in the morning or afternoon. He was too busy, too distracted. Or just didn't feel thirsty. So by dinner time, he'd grab a big glass of water. Then another after his evening walk. And maybe one more before bed, just to stay hydrated. He thought he was doing the right thing. But night after night, he was up. 2 hours into sleep, he'd shuffle to the bathroom. Then again around 2 a.m. Then once more before sunrise. His sleep? Broken. His energy? Drained. His mood? A shadow of what it used to be. Sound familiar? Here's what most people don't realize. Your body doesn't process water the same way at night as it does during the day. As we age, our kidneys, those quiet little filters, slow down in the evening. It's their natural rhythm. They're designed to rest while we sleep. But when we flood the system with water late in the day, the kidneys can't help it. They go into overdrive, pulling the water out, pushing it into the bladder, and waking you up to get rid of it. And here's where so many seniors get caught. They think, I didn't drink enough today. Let me catch up now. But your body doesn't store hydration like a savings account. It's a constant flow. So drinking extra at night doesn't fix the day's neglect. It just pushes your bladder into high gear while you're trying to sleep. Now here's the good news. There's a better way. A smarter way. Front-load your water. What does that mean? It means making sure you drink the majority, about 70% of your daily water intake, before 3 p.m. Think of it like this: hydrate early when your body is alert, kidneys are efficient, and you're up and moving. Then taper off gradually in the late afternoon. By the time dinner rolls around, switch to sips, not gulps. And after 7 p.m., be very mindful of how much you're drinking. You don't need to cut water out completely in the evening, just shift when you're getting it. This one change alone can transform your nights. You'll fall asleep faster. You'll stay asleep longer. And your bladder? It won't be tapping you on the shoulder every 2 hours. Now, if you're already drinking water at the right times, but still struggling with those nightly wake-ups, you might be making another common mistake. Because timing isn't the only piece of the puzzle. What you combine with your water, or forget to combine, can make or break your bladder's balance. Let's talk about something called the saltwater trap, and how it affects far more than just your taste buds. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 81 years old. Sharp mind. Warm heart. And proud of the fact that she's been following a low-salt diet for over a decade. Her doctor once warned her about high blood pressure, so she cut the salt. No table salt, no processed foods. She drank plenty of water every day, even carried a bottle with her around the house. And yet, she was still dehydrated. Her mouth felt dry. Her skin was dull. And yes, she still had to pee all night long. When her doctor finally ran a blood test, he noticed something surprising. Eleanor wasn't just overhydrated, she had a condition called hyponatremia. That's when your sodium levels drop too low because you've taken in too much water. Without enough salt to hold on to it. See, water doesn't work alone in the body. Your cells need the right balance of electrolytes, like sodium and potassium, to actually absorb and use that water. Without that balance, your body starts to protect itself. It says, wait a minute, too much water, this could be dangerous. And so, it flushes the extra water out. Where? Straight into the bladder. And guess what happens next? Another trip to the bathroom. Here's the tricky part. We've been taught for years that salt is the villain. That we should avoid it at all costs. But not all salt is the same. And your body needs the right kind of salt to stay balanced. Think natural sources, not the heavily processed, bleached stuff. A small pinch of sea salt in your morning glass of water can do wonders. Or better yet, get your sodium naturally through food, things like lightly salted avocado, bone broth, or olives in moderation. Pair that with potassium-rich snacks. Like bananas, cucumbers, and leafy greens, and your body will hydrate more efficiently, not just flush water straight out. Because remember, hydration isn't just about pouring in water. It's about helping your cells hold on to it. And once your cells are hydrated properly, your kidneys don't have to keep sending that water to your bladder like an overflowing bucket. Now, you might be thinking, well, I drink at the right time, and I'm balancing my salts, but I still wake up at 2 a.m. Like clockwork, every night. If that's you, you might be dealing with something we almost never think about, a trained bladder. Yes, your bladder can actually learn to wake you up. And you may not even need to go as badly as you think. Let's talk about bladder habits, and how your brain might be playing tricks on you. Frank is 79. Retired school principal. Always in bed by 10 p.m. Doesn't drink anything after 7. Yet without fail, he wakes up at exactly 5 minutes past 2 in the morning. He doesn't feel desperate to go. But he goes anyway, because, well, that's just what he's done for the past 8 years. Here's the interesting part. When Frank finally talked to a urologist, he was told something that made him stop in his tracks. Your bladder might not be waking you up. Your brain is. See, what most people don't realize is that the brain is a powerful habit machine. It loves patterns. It builds them. And it reinforces them, especially during sleep. So, what starts as a real bathroom need, maybe years ago, can eventually turn into a habit. The body gets used to waking up at the same time every night, even when the bladder isn't really full. Even when there's no urgent need. But because the brain expects you to get up, you wake up anyway. And what do we do when we're awake at 2 a.m.? We go to the bathroom, just in case. And the habit continues. Now here's the big myth that needs to be broken. Waking up doesn't always mean you have to urinate. Sometimes, it's just your brain running its old routine. The good news is, you can retrain it. Just like a toddler learning not to wet the bed, your adult bladder can unlearn that false urgency. Here's a simple way to start. Next time you wake up at night, take a moment. Sit up slowly. Breathe. Wait. If the urge isn't strong, delay your bathroom trip by 5 or 10 minutes. Do that consistently, every few nights, add just a little more time. And what happens? Your brain begins to get the message. Hey, we don't actually need to do this anymore. And slowly but surely, that habit starts to fade. You'll sleep longer stretches. Feel more rested. And break free from that old cycle you didn't even know you were in. Remember, this isn't about ignoring real urges. It's about listening to your body honestly, instead of just obeying what it's been trained to do. Now of course, retraining your bladder is powerful. But even with perfect timing and healthy habits, there's one more mistake that can throw your whole evening off track. And it has everything to do with what you drink before bed. Let's look at some sneaky nighttime beverages that may be silently sabotaging your sleep. Alright. Let's get into something that surprises a lot of people, because on the surface, it sounds harmless. Even healthy. Even cozy. You know what I'm talking about. That warm cup of tea before bed. The little nighttime ritual that makes you feel calm and ready to wind down. That was Sandra's routine. She's 84, soft-spoken, kind-hearted, and swears by her evening herbal tea. She didn't drink coffee, didn't touch soda, and followed every rule she could find about hydration timing. But still, every night, she was up. Once at midnight. Again at 3 a.m. And sometimes a third time, just before the sun rose. She thought, maybe it's just my age. But then she looked closer at the tea box. Turns out her favorite, sleepy time, blend had dandelion root and hibiscus. Both natural. Both healthy. But both are diuretics, which means they signal the kidneys to flush water out of the body. And guess where that water ends up? Right. In the bladder. At night. Here's the thing. Even if a drink is labeled decaf or caffeine-free, that doesn't mean it's bladder-friendly. Many herbal teas, especially those designed for detox or digestion, contain ingredients like green tea extract, hibiscus, dandelion root, lemongrass, even peppermint. In some cases these herbs sound gentle. And they are, in moderation. But to your bladder? They're a wake-up call. They stimulate urination, even when you're not drinking a lot of water. Now here's the myth. We assume that because a tea is herbal or marked for sleep, it must be calming in every way. But the truth is, many bedtime blends aren't made with seniors, or sensitive bladders, in mind. So, what should you drink instead? If you enjoy a warm cup before bed, and honestly, who doesn't, look for non-diuretic herbs. Try chamomile, one of the gentlest, most soothing herbs for the nervous system. Or rooibos, naturally caffeine-free, rich in antioxidants, and bladder-friendly. These teas don't push your kidneys to work overtime. They let your system settle, so you can truly rest. And one more tip. Check the labels. Even on blends that seem safe. Look closely. If you see words like cleanse, detox, or flush, that's a red flag. Because your evening drink should be telling your body, it's time to relax, not, it's time to run to the bathroom at 2 a.m. So yes, sometimes it's not how much you drink. It's what's hidden inside what you drink. Now, you've learned when to hydrate. You've learned how to balance fluids. You've learned how to retrain your bladder, and how to avoid sneaky irritants hiding in healthy drinks. But there's one final piece most people never think about, and it has nothing to do with what you drink. It's all about how your body rests. Let's talk about posture, fluid redistribution, and why lying down may actually be part of the problem. Most people never see it coming. Because when we talk about nighttime urination, the first thing we all blame is the bladder. Right? We assume it's something wrong down there. But sometimes, the real problem starts much lower. Let me tell you about Harold. Harold's 82, big-hearted, a former mechanic who always had oil under his nails and stories about cars from the 1950s. But in recent years, he started noticing something strange. Every afternoon, his ankles would puff up. His legs felt heavy. His shoes didn't fit quite right by dinner time. But he brushed it off, just part of getting old, he told himself. Then at night, something else happened. The moment Harold laid down in bed, he'd feel the urge to pee. Not once, but several times throughout the night. What he didn't know, was that those two things, the swollen legs and the nighttime bathroom trips, were deeply connected. Here's what's really going on. Throughout the day, as you sit or stand, gravity pulls fluids downward. They collect in your legs, ankles, and feet. Especially if you've been sitting for long hours or your circulation isn't as strong as it used to be. You don't really notice it much, until it builds up. And then, the moment you lie down, the fluid doesn't just stay in your legs. Your body says, hey, we're horizontal now. Let's move some of this back into the system. So, all that fluid that's been pooling in your lower limbs during the day, it starts re-entering your bloodstream. Your kidneys go to work. They filter out the excess. And guess where it ends up? That's right. Your bladder. In the middle of the night. Again and again and again. It's almost like a silent floodgate being opened the moment your head hits the pillow. Now here's the common misconception. People think that nighttime urination always starts in the bladder. But in cases like Harold's, and maybe even yours, it actually starts in the ankles. So, what can you do? Start by helping your body manage that fluid before bed. Try this, elevate your legs for 30 minutes in the early evening. Sit or lie back with your feet above heart level. Let gravity do some of the work. Before you go to sleep. This gives your body time to move excess fluid while you're still awake. That way, your kidneys do their filtering before you turn in for the night. Another great tool? Compression socks. Wearing them during the day helps gently push fluid back up toward the heart, reducing how much collects in the legs in the first place. And don't worry, they've come a long way. They're not just those ugly hospital ones anymore. You can get soft, breathable ones designed just for seniors, easy to put on and comfortable to wear. These small habits can make a huge difference in how restful your nights feel. Because when your body isn't scrambling to flush out a day's worth of trapped fluid, your bladder gets to stay calm. And you get to stay asleep. Now, we've walked through 5 changes, simple, doable things that can help you finally get through the night without constant interruptions. But this problem, it's more than just physical. It touches something deeper. Let's talk about the emotional toll this takes, and how you can take your peace, confidence, and independence back, starting tonight. Waking up over and over every night. It's not just frustrating. It's exhausting. Mentally, physically, emotionally. For many seniors, it starts small. One trip to the bathroom at 1 a.m. Then another at 3. Then again at 15 minutes past 4. And before long, your body is drained. Your mornings feel foggy. Your energy disappears. And life slows down. You cancel morning walks because you're too tired. You hesitate to travel. What if you don't have easy bathroom access? You pass on sleepovers with grandchildren or road trips with friends. And just like that, a few drops of water turn into a wall between you and the life you used to live. And that's the part nobody talks about. Not the doctors. Not the pills. Not the product ads. Because they don't see what this really takes from you. Your independence. Your confidence. Your freedom. But now, you're no longer powerless. Because tonight, for the first time in a long time, you understand why this is happening. And that means, you can change it. These weren't random bladder issues. This wasn't just your age. These were habits. Patterns. Tiny blind spots. And they can be rewired. Gently. Naturally. One small step at a time. So, here's where it starts. Tomorrow morning, drink 2 glasses of water before breakfast. Mid-morning, sip again, but taper off after lunch. Choose an afternoon snack rich in potassium, like a banana or a few slices of cucumber. Eat earlier. Then, around 7 p.m., elevate those legs. Let your body drain before bedtime. Avoid that harmless evening tea. Check the label. Reach for chamomile or rooibos instead. And if you wake up at 2 a.m., try just lying still. Breathe. Wait 10 minutes. You might find, you didn't need to go after all. Your bladder was only echoing an old habit. Day by day, you retrain your body. And in return, you reclaim something far greater than sleep. You reclaim your clarity. Your calm. Your ability to enjoy your mornings, travel with ease, and live with confidence. Aging brings challenges, yes. But it also brings wisdom. And with that wisdom, the ability to adapt. These aren't radical changes. They're gentle acts of self-care. But together, they restore something priceless, the kind of peace that lets you sleep through the night, without fear. Without stress. And with the full strength of your body and mind restored when morning comes. Let's take a moment to recap, because sometimes, it's the smallest things that create the biggest changes. Hydration timing, drink most of your water before 3 p.m. Salt balance, don't fear natural salts, your cells need them to stay hydrated. Bladder retraining, you can break the habit of waking up just by waiting a few extra minutes. Hidden diuretics, read your tea labels. Even sleepy blends can be sneaky. Leg elevation, help your body drain excess fluid before you sleep, not during. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 tips surprised you the most? Or maybe, you found your own secret for better sleep and fewer bathroom trips. Drop it in the comments, I read every one. And your insight might help someone else, too. And if this video helped you, or made you think of someone you care about, please hit that like button. And subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This channel is here for one reason, to share what others overlook. To speak about the real challenges seniors face, and the quiet victories that come from small, powerful shifts. Stay wise. Stay rested. And stay hydrated, the right way. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you, in the next video.